Here's the one thing that you absolutely have to have in business if you hope to succeed, and it's not what you think. Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I wanted to share with you the one thing that you absolutely have to have ingrained in you in business if you hope to succeed. And it's not what you think. You know, I've talked to a lot of business people over the years, and it just seems like the growing consensus is that if you hope to have a successful online business, whether it's on eBay or whatever, there's one thing you got to have. And they all say the same thing. You got to have passion. You know, they say you got to be passionate about what you do, passionate about your business. It's what drives you. It's what gets you up in the morning. You got to have that passion. But I'm here to tell you that even though you need passion, that's important because let's face it, if you don't like what you do and you get up every morning and you have to do it, it's going to become another job to you that you're going to eventually grow to hate, and then you're going to stop doing and you're going to quit. Okay? So passion is important. Okay? Drive is important. Things like that. What else? Ambition is important. All those things are important, but there's one thing that people miss, I think, and that's what I wanted to share with you today. And that one thing is discipline. Okay? Because let me just explain to you what my feeling on this is. Now, this is just my opinion. You can agree to disagree, but just hear me out. Things like passion, emotions, drive, motivation, okay? A lot of those are based on the emotional part of you that, gets excited about doing the business. Whenever you hear these so-called business opportunities and you get on these calls, everybody's always so excited because they feel like if they can get excited, they can get you excited and we'll all be excited together and, you'll be a success. Well, a lot of times that doesn't work out because the reason I say that is because, see, that kind of thing is based in emotion, and sometimes emotionally you don't feel excited. Let's face it, nobody's excited. This is just my opinion, but I don't believe everybody's excited every single day, every hour of the day about their business. Now, maybe there are a few out there that are. I don't know. Either that or they're living in the fake it until you make it world, and they act all excited on camera, but yet in real life, when what is that saying? The rubber hits the road, okay, and you're dealing with the reality of everything that you have to do in business. I mean, let's face it, when you own your own business, everything's on you. It's not like you go to a job and punch a clock for 8 or 10 hours and then, do your job and go home and you get a paycheck at the end of the month or at the end of the week or whatever, 2 weeks, however, often they pay. This kind of a business model, I'm talking eBay, selling postcards on eBay, whether it's postcards or not. It all comes down to what they call direct sales. In other words, if you don't sell anything, you don't make any money. And one of the things I've said on other videos is that, every day that you start, every day that you get up, your day starts at zero. Okay? Until you make that first sale, your day starts at zero. So you have to make that first sale. So you have to be motivated. Yeah, you got to be passionate. You got to enjoy what you do. But if you don't have that discipline to get up and do that work every day, or however many days you choose to do it, if you base everything on, the emotional aspect, well, emotionally you could feel really pumped up one day, and the next day you just don't feel like doing it. I mean, let's face it, guys. Okay, let's take eBay for instance. Okay, whether you sell postcards or whether you sell general merchandise or whatever it is you sell on eBay, you have to have the discipline to get up and do that work. Put your head down and go to work every day, just like you would if you went to a job. If you went to a job, let's say you were employed by someone and you're supposed to be on the job at 7 o'clock, and you show up and you just don't feel like working that day. You just say, you know what, boss, I'm tired. I kind of stayed up late last night. I'm just really tired and I just don't feel like working today. And, I'm just going to sit here and put my feet up on the desk and I'm just going to sit here until I punch out at 5 o'clock or whatever. And I just don't feel like working because I'm just too tired. I just don't feel like it. You know what your boss is going to say to you? He's going to say, okay, no problem. And when you punch out today, don't bother coming back because you're fired. Because they're not going to pay you a day's salary for no work. But see, when you own your own business, when you work for yourself, it's all on you. You don't have a boss, hovering over your shoulder saying, get to work. You have to have the discipline in place, ingrained in you. Even when you don't feel like listing, you've got to list on eBay. Because if you don't list, chances are you won't make any sales. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. If you have 30,000 listings in your eBay store, like maybe, Popeye's Postcards, he said he hasn't listed in like a month and a half and he still makes sales. Well, he's pretty established. But for most of us, people like me and you, if we don't list every day, we don't make any sales. Because see, what happens is people are going to come back to your store. People that follow you. There's people that follow me on eBay. I've got certain hundreds of followers on eBay. And if they come to my store and they don't see anything new, after a while, they're going to say, why should I bother to keep coming back? He never puts up anything new. He never lists anything. And they'll just go away. And there's plenty of other people on eBay that they can go to. It's just amazing that when you're on eBay, I know it's fun to source. You get that thrill, that dopamine in your system, when you find something, when you find that treasure. I know I do. When I find a postcard deal that I got 10 cents a card on, and I know I can flip these cards for, $5, $10, $15, $20 each, every day of the week. I get excited about that. And sourcing is fun. Everybody loves to go out sourcing. But see, that's why so many people have what they call death piles. I don't call them death piles. I call them money piles. Because once you get it listed and get it sold, it becomes money in your pocket. So basically, that's why, people they love to go out and source. And then those piles just pile up and pile up and pile up. And then, if you're basing everything on emotions, then what happens is, some days you may not feel like listing. Let's just be honest. Listing is not the most fun thing to do on eBay. It's in fact, I think it's the least fun thing to do on eBay because it's the most time consuming and it's repetitive. And I don't know about you, but I have trouble with doing things that are repetitive and time consuming. Okay, because I want to get stuff done. I want to get it up. And if it takes a long time, if I have technical problems or whatever, I get a little frustrated. But the thing is, I keep going. And why? Because I got that discipline inside. I've convinced myself that if I don't list, we don't sell, and which means if we don't sell anything, we don't eat, we don't pay the bills. And if you can get your mindset into that frame of mind that say, if I don't list today, I may not make a sale. And that's not always the case. There's been some rare occasions where I haven't listed anything and I just still made some sales. I guess, I'm convinced that people buy when they're ready to buy. You can't do anything to coerce them. You can try all kinds of, sales and marketing techniques and everything. But until that person is ready to say, okay, I'm going to buy this today, that's when they throw down their credit card and that's when they pay for it. And, that's when you make a sale. But you've got to have that discipline. You've got to have that discipline that gets you up every morning. What I try to do is I try to get into a listing routine. Every morning I list so many cards because I got other things to do. I can't. Now, maybe some people, if you've got, if your business is far enough along and established enough to where you can afford to pay other people to list for you, then it's not so taxing on you. But for most of us, like me, maybe you, we have to do all the work. It's all on us, and listing is part of that. It's part of the business, and it's the least favorite part of the business. Like I said, when you go out sourcing, that's great. Everybody loves to go out sourcing, find those great deals, find those little treasures, And another thing that is part of a lot of people's business on eBay is their YouTube channel. Mine is part of my business, okay? It's a way that I drive traffic to my eBay store. My eBay store is linked right in the bottom. You can go right to it. Okay, and I'm sure I've made some sales from people that have watched my videos, and benefited from that. But the thing is, you've got to have that discipline that says, even though I don't feel like listing today, I'm going to do it because if I don't, I'm not going to make any sales, or I may not make any sales. Okay, and that's what we're in business to do. We're in business. This isn't a charity. Nothing wrong with charity, but this is not a charity. This is for most people, whether it's full-time, part-time, or whatever, it's a for-profit business. We want to make money so we can have extra gas money, so we can have extra food money with the cost of, these things going up. and, inflation the way it is and the state of our economy and everything. Or, maybe you're just working really hard to try to get away from that 9 to 5 that you don't want to do anymore. You don't want to work the next 40 years for somebody else and then find out at the end they give you a watch. When my dad retired, they gave him a clock and a watch and a little tiny pension. Not much, barely enough to live on. And there was one other case where I talked to a woman, and this is unfortunate, but I talked to this woman. She worked 35 years for this company, and she got to the end of that, and she was like a week and a half away from retiring, and she was looking forward to her retirement and her pension and everything. And a week and a half before that was about to happen, they called her in the office and said, "I'm sorry to have to tell you this. We're having to downsize because of the economy, and we're going to have to let you go." She got fired a week and a half before her retirement was about to kick in, and she got nothing for her retirement. She got nothing for her 35 years of, dedicated service to that company. And, they said, it's nothing personal. We hate to do it, but, we got to try to do this to help the company survive. And you're just at the bottom of the list, and we got to let you go. Sorry. And see, that's why so many people are striving to run their own business, because the only way I can get fired is if I quit, and I'm not going to quit. So it's the same thing, but you got to have that discipline. Okay. Passion will only take you so far. Drive will only take you so far. Ambition, you can read all the self-help books and watch all the YouTube videos to get yourself pumped up and motivated. But if all of that is just based in emotion, what happens when your emotions don't kick in, and it's not enough to keep you motivated to go forward and do the jobs like listing that you have to do in order to make sales? But if you have that discipline, then the discipline kicks in. It's kind of like I like to watch fighter pilots. I think they're the coolest thing. Watch jets and things. I've been into aviation a long time, and the thing is, fighter pilots, they're always told that whenever they get into a situation where they have to face an enemy and they could be shot at, blown out of the sky or whatever, then to keep them from panicking, that's when their training kicks in, their discipline, their training. He said, don't worry about it. Just trust your training. Trust what you've learned in training, and you'll be fine. And that's what they kind of rely on. Well, it's the same thing in business. Okay, if you've got that discipline deep down inside you that says, if I don't sell today, we don't eat and we don't pay our bills, and the business goes under. If you've kind of got that mindset, then it will push you past your feelings of not wanting to list, because a lot of people just don't like to list. I've been caught up in that trap too. Sometimes I get tired. I've said this on other videos. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Okay. A lot of people that have eBay businesses, they're excited, they're young, they're like in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, a little bit older sometimes. But you know what? I'm 64 years old. I just turned 64 in April. And my goodness, I just I don't have the energy that I used to have. I get up early. I put in hours. I'm an early riser. I get up at 2:30 in the morning and start my day at 3 usually. Sometimes it goes past that if I'm extremely, tired from the day before. Like this morning, I didn't get up till 3:30. But see, that's another perk of having your own business. I can start when I want to start. I don't have to punch a clock and be somewhere at 7 a.m. And if I'm a minute late, my boss is going to write me up for being late. And you get so many tardies, and then you get called in the office and they say, you keep this up and we're going to fire you. And then you have to go look for another job. But I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that to make you think, oh, you should just quit your job and go jump off a cliff. I mean, some people on YouTube, they have full-time jobs and they do this on the weekends, and they're fine with that until they retire, and then they get that pension. And if they get a pension. But see, my whole point is, you got to have that discipline ingrained in you, because that's the one thing that will push you to success. You may not be passionate about what you do. Okay. You got to have a certain level of passion. Of course, you got to like what you do, but you don't have to be like thinking about it 24/7. I'm sure that there are people on eBay that don't get up and go, you know what? I can't wait to get to listing. Probably not. I mean, they might say that about sourcing. They might say that about, other things like doing YouTube videos. Because, hey, let's face it, making YouTube videos is fun. It's a lot more fun than sitting in front of that computer and just typing and listing and changing the photos and changing the keywords and changing the description and the price, trying to figure out what's the best price and hitting save and then doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. Some people, I think, on YouTube spend more time doing YouTube videos than they do working on their business. That's just a personal opinion, but when I see a lot of people doing a lot of videos, unless they're putting in like 20 hours a day to fit all this stuff in, because you got to sleep sometime, right? Then they enjoy that more than they enjoy building their business. And that's why I say if you have that discipline ingrained in you, then it will help you to push past the times when you don't feel like listening, when you don't feel like getting up and going to work, when you don't feel, because like I said before in the video, you work for yourself. You ain't got a boss behind you. You don't have anybody behind you going, get to work. I'm not paying you to sit around. You've got to push yourself. And like I said, passion is one thing. You got to have passion. You got to like what you do or love what you do. You've got to have, you got to have that emotional, you got to be positive about things. Even, like times right now where we're in this summer sales slump or whatever they call it, summer sales slowdown or whatever. I mean, it happens every year. Every year, it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in, whether online, offline, or whatever. Every business goes through a slump in summer because people are on vacation. That's when they may be working a job, and that's the only time they can get off to take a vacation. I know a couple right now that we know that's vacationing in Hawaii, and I'm like, why would you go to Hawaii in July? Why not go in the off season? It would be a little bit cheaper and there'd be a lot less people. Well, maybe this is the only time they can go because, they both work full-time jobs and this is the only time they can get vacation time. But see, when you work for yourself, your time is your own. Even though your time is your own as a business owner, okay, you have to still put in the hours. You still have to put in the work. You still have to put in the time. The thing is, if you have that discipline, it's going to help you to push past those times you don't feel like listing. You don't feel like doing inventory. Oh, inventory. Can you imagine? And I go into some of these retail outlets, and some of these companies, they actually hire other companies to do their inventory for them because they got millions and millions and millions of items. I remember the last time I did an inventory on my items, and I probably got about 3,200 listings or something on eBay, and I've got maybe 1,000 more cards that I haven't listed. And I still had to go through every single one of those cards and make sure, okay, this one's on eBay, this one's not on eBay. You know what I mean? I have to do that every once in a while. And that's not a fun job. Okay. I think that's right up there with listing. That's not a fun job. So, try to discipline yourself to where every morning you get up and you do a routine, get into a routine. It's easier to do a routine than it is to just do it kind of off the cuff and just think, because your emotions will kick in. You may get tired. Like I said before, if you're working a full-time job, you get home, you're tired, you just don't feel like listening. I know I've worked 10 hours today. I'm exhausted. I just can't do it tonight. Forget it. I'm just not going to list today. And then see that one day leads to two, two leads to four, four leads to six, to seven. And then before you know it, you're listing once a week, you're listing once every 3 weeks. And who knows, it might even get to the point where you just feel like this ain't worth it anymore. I'm just too tired. I'm just going to quit eBay. And then you give up on something that could maybe, give you the financial freedom that you want over time. This is not a get rich quick. I tell people in the introduction to my channel, if you're looking for if you want to do postcards and make a living at it, then you've got to discipline yourself. You've got to go to work every day, just like you were if you were working for an employer. It's going to happen over a period of time, maybe years, because it all depends on the types of cards you sell and what you can get and how much you've got in your inventory. And, like I said, there's only 24 hours a day. I've got to do like my business. I've got to do my YouTube channel. I've got to do, let me show you something here. These are the tubs that I've done a video on this. These are the tubs that I put my cards in. Okay, you can see that. right? Well, this tub is almost full. It holds about maybe 450 cards per tub. Well, this is getting right to the end. It's got like 6 more cards, and then I've got to do a new tub. Well, when I have to do a new tub, I don't just slap a cardboard box together. I go get a plastic tub because these are plastic, and then I have to get that grippy stuff, that shelf, the stuff you put on your shelves to grip, for the base, and I have to cut that down, and I have to take my painter's tape and stick it to the bottom and stick that, and I have to cut it to size, and I have to cut a little thing on the front that tells what number sequence it goes from to. I mean, that takes a little bit of time. It's not the most fun thing to do, but if I don't do it, what happens? What am I going to do? Throw my cards on the table as I list them? No, they got to go in a tub. They got to be organized. And that's another part of, running your business. You got to be organized. I see some people on YouTube, I don't know how they run their eBay businesses. And I'm not, trying to disrespect anybody, but they don't seem to be very organized. Now, I've seen some people that are very organized, and then some people are just not organized, and they'll admit it. They'll say, I got to clean up this garage. I got to do this. I got to do that. But see, again, that takes more time. And then I got to fit in everything else in. I got to fit in food shopping because I've kind of taken over the food shopping for my family. I've got to, make sure the car is running okay. I've got to, do errands, every once in a while. I've got some new glasses coming in. I had to recently go and take some time and go to the eye clinic and get my eyes examined because I hadn't examined them in like 8 years. Okay. So I had to do that. I had to take time out to do that. And then I had to come home. When I got home, I hadn't listed anything. So I put my head down, went to work. I got a list. You know what I mean? It's that discipline that will help you succeed in your business because it will push you when your emotions give out, when your drive gives out, when you're feeling tired. When I feel tired, I usually splash some water on my face and I'm like, let's get going, because that discipline kicks in. That training. I've been doing it. I've been doing this for a long time, and that's the only thing that pushes me. Passion will only give you so much of a boost. Okay, passion is good, but it will only push you so far. Drive is good. It only pushes you so far. Okay, and it's because most of those are based on emotions. Where discipline is based on action. It's the action you take even when you don't feel like doing it. And trust me in this, okay, guys? Trust me in this. I've been doing this a long time. I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. I don't play one on TV or YouTube. Okay, but trust me in this. Once you've got that discipline, once you've got that habitual, they say if you do something for 30 days, it becomes habit, becomes habitual. Well, try doing a listing routine every day for 30 days, and eventually it'll just start to kick in. Okay, I got a list. Even if I got something else to do, I got to go home and I got a list. It'll kick in. Okay, your discipline will kick in, and that will push you past the point even if you're tired, even if you're emotionally drained. Now, does that mean you got to work 7 days a week? No, absolutely not. I take a day off every week. Most of the time I'm working, and most of the time I put in long hours. And that's what it takes, because you got to put in that work. You got to put in, don't listen to these people on YouTube. Please, I implore you, don't listen to these gurus on YouTube that say, oh, just, buy my $2,000 system and I'll show you step by step how you can make $10,000 your first month. And, all you got to do is work a couple of hours a week. Yeah, okay. You want to know a little secret about that? Yeah, they're making the money, but they're not making the money doing what they're trying to teach you to do. They're making the money off the course that they're selling you. They'll invite you to a free training. Yeah, 90% of those free trainings, I guarantee you, there's a sales pitch at the end of that free training that's hooked to some $6,000 course they don't want you to hook into. But that's another subject. That's another video. What I'm saying is, try to get into a routine. Try to get into a daily routine that becomes habitual, so that will discipline you past the point of, even when you don't feel like listing or doing whatever you have to do to grow your business, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's listing, whether it's inventory, whether it's putting tubs together. I don't know, whatever it is that's a part of your business, that discipline will drive you forward to where you'll feel a sense of accomplishment afterwards. Because I know for myself that if I don't feel productive, I get very depressed about that. And I'm just being honest with you, okay? Because I like to feel productive. I like to get things done. I don't like time consuming things, but hey, listing is a part of eBay. It's part of the business. It's just a part you have to do. I had to take time out to do this video. I've listed about 15 items, and I'll probably list some more, later on. That discipline is with me every day, and that pushes me past of when I'm tired. Because let me tell you something. When you feel like you don't feel like listing, that's the time you need to list. That's the time you need to tap into that discipline and say, I got to do this. And like I said, if you get to the point, if you can get your mindset right and to think that if I don't work, we don't eat. If I don't list, we don't sell. And maybe you can get away with that, for like 1 or 2 days. If you really need to take a couple of days off, fine, do what you got to do to emotionally get recharged or whatever, but get back to it. It's kind of like, I think there was a scene in one of the Rocky movies, and he was talking to his son about some things, and he said it's not about how hard you get hit. It's when you get hit, what you can take, and you just keep moving forward. You got to be able to take the hits. Some other people have said it's okay to get knocked down. It's just make sure you don't stay down. And this gets a little emotional for me because I've been there. So it's okay to take a couple of days off if you really need to do that to emotionally recharge or whatever, but don't stay there. Get back to your routine, get back to the discipline, get back to it. And because it's what you do now is going to affect what you do in the future and how much money. I mean, if you look at somebody like Popeye's Postcards, he's been doing this for 24 years, guys. 24 years. I've been doing this for I'm going into my 3rd year. He's been doing it for 24 years. Plus he had a full-time job on top of that. He just recently retired from his government job, but he loves what he does. And I'm sure he's disciplined, because it's that discipline that's going to push you forward. And I believe will really come in handy when you don't feel like listing, when you don't feel like working, when you just want to just say, I don't know if this is worth it, whatever. It'll say, you know what? Do you want to do this the rest of your life? Or do you want to work at that job the rest of your life? And again, I'm not saying go quit your job. If you quit your job and you have nothing to fall back on, and you have no income coming in to pay your bills, that's not a smart thing to do. A lot of people suggest that if you're gonna go full time with your online business, your eBay business, you don't do it until you're making more money with your eBay business than you were working for your full-time job. Okay, and that's smart. But the thing is, you got to have that discipline. It just beats out passion. It beats out drive. It beats out any kind of emotional feeling, dedication, even any of that stuff. It just beats it out hands down, because when that discipline kicks in, that means I do this because I like doing it, and I do this because I know if I don't do it, I don't make any money. So I'm hoping, I didn't know which way this video was going to go. I know it's been a little long. I appreciate you listening to me. I have a tendency to ramble on when I talk about this stuff. Passion is one thing, but discipline is more important, because discipline will override your passion. Because when you're not passionate about it, I saw this video on YouTube this morning. This guy was passionate about being an actor, and he had all the self-help books, and he went to the seminars and all the motivational training and all that, and everything was based on how he felt about, because he wanted to be the best actor he could, and then one day his emotions kicked in and said, you know what, I don't have a passion for being an actor anymore. See, and that's what happens with passion. Sometimes passions die. Sometimes passions go away. Sometimes passions fade. But discipline will stick to it no matter what okay? And you'll put your head down and go to work, and say, if you've got the right mindset and say, you know what, I got to do this, even if it's only 5 cards a day, do something every day. Because see, what happens is if you got people following you, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you got people following you, they're going to come back to your store every day and see if you got anything new. And if they don't see anything new after a while, they're going to go somewhere else, guys. There's plenty of eBay sellers on eBay that are selling the same exact postcards you are, maybe for an even cheaper price. But the reason they come back to you is because every day they come to your store, they're seeing something new. And that tells them you're committed, you're disciplined, you're in this for the long haul. And that's what it's going to take. To succeed in business and postcards, it's going to take time. Okay, it's not a get rich quick. Anybody that tells you you can make thousands of dollars selling postcards in 30 days or less, just take my course or whatever, is just trying to get rich off of selling you their course. So I hope this has encouraged you today. Like I said, I didn't know where this video was going to go. I might have gone off on a few tangents. I apologize for that. But I wanted to tell you that discipline is the key to having a successful business, because it'll kick in when passion fails, when emotion fails, when you're tired, your training, your discipline will kick in and say, no, I got to do this. Because like I said, if you worked for somebody else and you just didn't show up for work a couple, 3 days a week or a month or whatever, or you went to work and you just decided, I'm too tired to go to work, your boss, you probably won't have a job by the end of the day, because they're not paying you to just sit there. It's real tempting. It's real tempting when you have your own business to just sit there, and it's real tempting to get on YouTube, and nothing wrong with watching YouTube videos. You know, I appreciate you guys watching mine. But the thing is, it's real tempting to just sit all day and watch YouTube videos, and then you haven't listed a single card. Well, watching YouTube videos might give you a great feeling inside and make you all pumped up and motivated, but unless you really need that to get disciplined to, go back to it the next day, if you're just doing it as an excuse so you don't have to list, then it's kind of like, it's very self-defeating. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're going to see those gaps in your sales chart. I hate looking at those. I hate seeing those gaps. I want to see sale. I want to see those bars on those graphs every single day. That's what I go for. But the only way you can do that is to be disciplined in your business. And that'll override emotion. Anything you feel emotionally, even when you don't feel like it, your discipline will kick in and you say, no, I got to do this. Okay. So like I said, I didn't know where this video was going to go. I probably rambled on way too long, but I think you get my point. I have a tendency to overemphasize things. Ask my wife, Kim. I'm working on that. I'm sorry this is so long, but I just really want to see you guys succeed in this business. I know it's going to take time, but it is possible. It's a great business to be in. It's a great business model to be in. I mean, where else can you buy a card for 15 cents and flip it on eBay for $15? And somebody will pay that because they feel it's worth it. Okay, or more money. That's the highest I've ever sold a card was like $50. I paid 10 cents for that card. But he was a collector, and this was one he didn't have, and he gave me positive feedback. 2 days later, it was great. Okay, and you can make a lot of money. Just if you don't think so, check out John Miller's, Popeye's postcards, his daily what's sold videos. A lot of times he makes anywhere from $100 to $300 a day. That's where I want to get. But he's disciplined, okay, and he's been doing this for 24 years, and he's got 30,000 cards that he's listed in his. That takes some, in his eBay store. That takes a lot of discipline to have to, list. I know I'm going on and on. You're probably going, okay, Ken, when are you going to get to the end? Sorry. But anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. We're going to call it to a close finally. I know I'm going to do some editing on this, but I hope you got something out of this video, and you know the drill. If you did, smash that like button. It helps the channel. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the best and success in your card business, your postcard business, and I hope it comes sooner than later. But remember the key, get disciplined. And I think you'll have a greater chance of success than if you just rely on emotions all the time and passion. And, those things are important, but discipline, I think, is the key. Anyway, I got to go. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, and bye for now.